Hello students, I hope the online classes we teachers have made, I hope you got some benefits from there, and I hope you're watching the videos, and I hope you're learning something out of there. So in the previous class, I think we have already discussed about digestion, right? So today we are going to study about respiratory system. So let us recollect what we have studied. So since we have already studied digestion, you know the process of digestion. What is digestion? Actually, it is the breakdown of food molecules into a simpler substance. Okay, now after digestion, what happens is that the food that we get, okay, after digestion, okay, after digestion, the food that we get gets converted into glucose. Okay, the food that we eat after digestion, okay, it will get converted into glucose, and this glucose are absorbed, okay, this glucose are being absorbed by your blood. They get absorbed in the blood, okay. From the blood it will flow to different parts of your body. Okay, so I'll repeat. During digestion, what happens is that the breakdown of food molecules takes place, and after this digestion, it will convert into glucose, and this glucose will be absorbed in the blood, and they will flow in different parts of your body. Okay, and then when this glucose, okay, this glucose, they will combine with oxygen. Okay, glucose will combine with oxygen. After they combine with oxygen, they will release carbon dioxide, okay, they will release water, and they will release a lot of energy. Okay, so the glucose, they will combine with oxygen. After combining with oxygen, they will release carbon dioxide, water, and energy. Okay, so what will happen is that this energy which is being released, okay, with the help of glucose, they are very important because it carries out your various life processes. Okay, so this whole process, it is known as your respiration. Okay, respiration is the breakdown, okay, or releasing of energy by breaking down of food, that is your glucose, for life activities. It is your respiration. So in this chapter, we will be discussing about the process of respiration in animals and plants. Okay, so normally respiration takes place in two stages. Okay, we have two stages of respiration. First one is your external, okay, or we can also say external respiration, or we can also term it as breathing. The other one is your internal respiration or cellular respiration. Okay, so respiration mainly has two stages. First one is your external respiration, or you can term as your breathing respiration, and the other one is your internal respiration or your cellular respiration. Okay, so under your internal and external respiration, what will happen is that this external respiration, or we can term it as breathing, okay, it is a physical or chemical process. Okay, it is your physical or chemical process. So since it is your physical or chemical process of respiration, it will involve, okay, it will involve breathing in rich oxygen and breathing, this one is breathing in, okay, the other one is breathing out rich carbon dioxide. Okay, so under respiration, under external respiration, or we can term as breathing, it involves your physical or chemical process. So it will involve in breathing, okay, I mean it is your physical or mechanical process. So it will involve mechanical, okay, mechanical process, so it will involve in breathing in rich oxygen and breathing out rich carbon dioxide. So this breathing in rich oxygen, we can term it as inhalation. Okay, so when you breathe in oxygen, we term it as inhalation, and when you breathe out carbon dioxide, it is known as exhalation. Okay, so moving on to the next, we have your internal respiration or cellular respiration. So your internal respiration, okay, they take place inside the cells. This respiration takes place inside the cells, or we can say within the cells. Okay, and it is also a biochemical process. Biochemical process. So since it's a biochemical process, what will they do? They will involve in the breakdown of glucose. Okay, as I have told you, remember, breakdown of glucose will be taken with the help of your oxygen, in the presence of oxygen, where they will give out carbon dioxide, water and energy. Okay, so remember, when there is a breakdown of glucose, it will take place in the presence of oxygen, where they will release carbon dioxide, water and energy. So in under respiration, we have two stages, that is your external respiration and your internal respiration. We can also term it as your breathing, or we can also term this as your cellular respiration. So this internal respiration, you can have a chemical formula. You'll have a chemical formula. This is for glucose, C6H12O6. This is your glucose. Okay, so when they combine with 6 molecules of oxygen, they will give out 6 molecules of carbon dioxide plus 6 molecules of water plus energy. Okay, how much energy will be released? They will release around 38 ATPs. So this is your chemical formula when it comes in terms of your cellular respiration, okay, or your internal respiration. So there are some important points, okay, in order to know about your internal respiration or your cellular respiration. Remember, the oxygen, okay, you know that in order to undergo internal respiration, oxygen is needed, okay, because oxygen is needed to break down of glucose. So this oxygen which we get, okay, they come from the inhalation. Remember, inhalation process, that means when we breathe in that rich oxygen, okay, this oxygen will help in the breakdown of your glucose. Second point, they show the oxidation of glucose molecules. So these glucose molecules, they go under complete oxidation, where it leads to the formation. If it doesn't undergo oxidation, you will not get these products. Okay, so since they undergo oxidation, what will happen is that they break down this glucose, and as a result you get your carbon dioxide, water and energy. And remember this, that we know that during the process of digestion, even an enzyme takes place, right? So when it comes in terms of respiration, okay, the reactions will always be the result, because that are controlled by your different enzymes. Okay, now we'll move on to this ATP. What is ATP? The energy that is released, they come in the form of your ATP. This ATP, the full form is your, I will write here, ATP full form is adenosine triophosphate. Okay, this ATP full form is your adenosine triophosphate. Okay, so this ATP is nothing but they are the energy rich chemical substance. Okay, they are energy rich chemical substance that gets stored in your cells. In your cell, they will store this ATP molecules. Okay, that is your energy rich chemical substance. So they can be broken down anytime in order if you need to release an energy. Okay, so they'll be stored in the cell, so whenever you need to release this energy, they can be used at any time. Okay, and then in other words, we can also say that respiration means the breakdown of food materials, okay, glucose, to ATP molecules, carbon dioxide and water in the presence of oxygen. Remember that the process of external respiration is different. External respiration, it is different in terms of plants and animals, okay, But when it comes in terms of cellular respiration, every plants and animals undergo cellular respiration. They undergo the same cellular respiration or internal respiration. And when it comes in terms of your external respiration, plants and animals, they undergo different respiration. Okay. Next is, where does this respiration mainly take place? They mainly take place in your cytoplasm and also partially in your mitochondria. Okay. Now we have already discussed the different stages of respiration. Now we'll discuss the types of respiration. So these types of respiration, they have two types. Okay. First one is your aerobic respiration. I think you have already heard the term aerobic. Okay. And the other one is your anaerobic respiration. So you have two types, that is your aerobic respiration and your anaerobic respiration. Okay. Why do we have the types of respiration? Is that because living organisms, okay, they show two types of respiration, depend whether they can take place, they can undergo in the presence of oxygen, they can undergo respiration in the presence of oxygen, or they can undergo respiration in the absence of oxygen. Okay. So aerobic, by the term aerobic respiration, it means involvement of oxygen. Oxygen takes place, oxygen is needed, or we can say respiration in where the breakdown of molecules takes place in the presence of oxygen. And here oxygen is not needed. Okay. So under aerobic respiration, mostly animals, okay, they respire through aerobic respiration. Okay. So under aerobic respiration, it will help in the breakdown of your glucose with the help in the presence of oxygen to release carbon dioxide, or we can say in the formation of your carbon dioxide, water, and your 38 ATP molecules. Okay. So here you have your chemical reaction. That means you have your glucose, okay, C6H12O6 plus your 6 molecules of oxygen. So what will you get is that you'll get your 6 molecules of carbon dioxide plus 6 molecules of water plus 38 ATPs. And remember, ATPs is your energy. Okay. ATPs is your energy. So now you can see that plants and some animals, they respire with the help in the presence of oxygen, where they will release, or where they'll lead to the formation of carbon dioxide, water, and your 38 ATP molecule. Okay. So now we'll move on to anaerobic respiration. Under your anaerobic respiration, remember that the oxygen is not being needed, and mostly this type of animals which undergo anaerobic respirations are those lower organisms such as your bacteria and fungi. Okay. So what will happen is that they will undergo, or we can say that the breakdown of glucose will take place in the absence of oxygen. Okay. And then here, this aerobic respiration, they show complete oxidation. Okay. They undergo complete oxidation since they have the presence of oxygen. But here anaerobic, they have incomplete, their oxidation is incomplete oxidation. Since they do not have a complete oxidation, it leads to the formation of your ethyl alcohol, your carbon dioxide, and 2 molecules of ATP. Here you will not have a water. Okay. Water will not be released, but instead ethyl alcohol will be released, because there is an incomplete oxidation and there is no involvement of oxygen. Okay. So the chemical formula, you have your glucose. Okay. So under glucose, since you do not have your oxygen, you will have in the result of your ethyl alcohol. Okay. Then you'll have your 2 molecules of ethyl alcohol, 2 molecules of carbon dioxide, and you have your 2 ATP. That is your energy. I hope you're clear between the types of respiration. Okay. That is your aerobic respiration and your anaerobic respiration. So one aerobic is which breakdown of glucose takes place in the presence of oxygen, and the anaerobic is your breakdown of glucose in the absence of oxygen, where it leads to the formation of your ethyl alcohol, and it is your incomplete oxidation. And when it comes in terms of your aerobic respiration, it is a complete oxidation. Now we'll move on to your respiratory system in human beings. Okay, so we know that the external respiration in human beings, okay, takes place through a well-developed respiratory system. Respiration takes place because of under your respiratory system. Okay, so under this respiratory system, what happens is that this external respiration, it allows us to breathe in oxygen rich air, and it also that is into the lungs. Okay, whenever you breathe in oxygen rich air, it goes into the lungs, and then you exhale or you give out carbon dioxide rich air that is from the lungs. So lungs plays a main important role in your respiratory system. Okay, so why is that so? Because it mainly help in the exchange of gases. Okay, so the passage through which the exchange of gases takes place, it is known as your respiratory tract. Okay, so this respiratory tract, okay, your respiratory tracts involve different or various, okay, organs. Your respiratory tract involves various organs, that is your nose. Okay, you have your nostrils, you have your nasal cavity, then you have your pharynx, then you have your larynx, you have your trachea, and then you have your bronchi, and then you have your bronchioles and bronchi. Okay, and then you also have your alveolar sac, and you have your alveoli. Okay, so under your respiratory system, you have your respiratory tract. This respiratory tract, it is, what is it? These are the passage through which the exchange of gases takes place. So when the exchange of gases takes place, there are several organs which takes part on it. They are your nose, nostrils, nasal cavity, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, and your bronchioles, and your alveolar sac and your alveoli. Okay, so in details we will be discussing them in details in the next class. Okay, what does your nose, what does your nostrils, and what are those different organs, what role do they play in the exchange of gases, we'll be learning in your next class.